So you want to podcast, and welcome to this week's show. I want to continue to thank everybody that's rated and reviewed the show. All of the feedback has been amazing, and I really appreciate all of it. I want to encourage you, if you have friends who are small business owners, work in a medium-sized business, marketing professionals, other podcasters, whatever, anyone you think would benefit from learning about this, my goal is to spread the amazing things that podcasting can do for the world, for businesses, to as many people as possible. So if you can, please share this podcast with anyone you know that you think would benefit from it. I want to tell you about Lou Mongello. He is a Disney podcaster, one of the biggest Disney podcasters out there, but he is also an excellent business coach, community builder, entrepreneur, and he has an event called Momentum. This event, this conference, Momentum, I first attended 2 years ago in 2016, and I consider it the turning point in my entrepreneurial journey and starting my business. I really was struggling in my current business and didn't know where to go. And going to this conference gave me direction. It gave me forward momentum, no pun intended. And I really recommend it for anyone out there who is stuck in a job or unhappy with their career and would really like to be doing something else, or someone who is also just starting out on their entrepreneurial journey. It's a great conference to go to. There is also a mastermind day for a select few at the back end of it. I believe there's still just a few seats left for the weekend workshop and a few seats left for the Tuesday mastermind day. The weekend workshop is October 6th and 7th in Orlando, actually right next to Disney Springs in Walt Disney World. And the mastermind days are the 8th and 9th of October. That's October 6th through the 9th, 2018. And like I said, there are a few seats left. If you go to loumongello.com/momentum, you can find out more information and register. And I will put that URL in the show notes as well. Over the next 2 episodes, we are going to be answering the question, why does sound quality matter? Asking why sound quality matters is like asking, why is it important for a restaurant to serve edible food? I was on a call with a client this morning, and she shared a story with me about one of her clients who happens to have a podcast. It's a corporate leader and is spending a good amount of money on the podcast production. And she mentioned how the last few of his episodes just didn't sound really good. And I went and checked it out and noticed that for the first 10 episodes of this show that has about 20 episodes, the sound was great. Well done, well balanced, nice EQ throughout, very pleasant to listen to. And then at about episode 10, everything changed. There were inconsistencies. All of a sudden, every episode sounded overcompressed or gutted. The low end was taken out. There was even an episode where there were digital errors all the way throughout. It sounded like, if you remember fast forwarding through a compact disc, a CD, that's what it sounded like. And I know how much this person was paying on production. And to me, that's unacceptable. I can't imagine that this corporate leader would have put up with that from anyone that worked in their corporation. And I don't understand why so many podcasts deal with poor sound. It's relatively easy to figure out how to get great sound, and we will actually spend about 5 or 6 episodes in the next few weeks talking about how to get great sound, and I will go through my list of everything you can do to sound like a professional. But for the next 2 weeks, we're going to talk about why you should sound great. Why does quality sound matter? So first of all, let me describe what quality sound is. The sound quality of a podcast needs to be clear and without distractions like background noise, hiss, distortion, distracting room reverb, etc. Otherwise, it's like listening to someone talk with food in their mouth or listening to someone screaming. And that's not easy to listen to for a long time. Now, if content is good, listeners will put up with lesser quality, but only for so long. More quality means more listeners in the long run. And the bottom line is that if your sound sucks, people will stop listening no matter how good your content is. Shows that feature interviews and shows that are intended for entrepreneurs or businesses, etc., need to sound intelligent, and that means doing detailed edits and clarification edits to tighten it up as much as possible. You need to take out the ums, the ers, the uhs, like, sorta, just. Now, I don't always practice what I preach here because I want this show to come off as more real for you and authentic, like we've talked about. But it's still a good idea to do that. Your audience, your subscribers, whatever, will stick with you if you make it easy for them to listen to your show without getting annoyed or getting frustrated. So let's cover the first 2 reasons why sound quality matters in your podcast. Number 1 is ease of use. You need it to sound good so people can hear and understand. Content is king, and poor quality audio is a distraction from your content. High quality audio highlights your content. Your listeners just want to hear your message. They want to listen to the stories and take in the information you're providing. The reason they chose to listen to a podcast is because more than likely they are multitasking. If they have to burn extra brain calories trying to cut through the literal noise of poor quality audio, then it totally defeats the purpose of consuming podcasts on the go. Your listeners want to feel like they are in the room with you. And if they're focusing on trying to understand you or hearing your dog bark or ignoring your HVAC, your message may be lost on them. Poor quality sound destroys the immersive nature of podcasts. Now, our brain is less forgiving of bad audio. If you've ever watched a movie and the audio is poorly produced, it doesn't really matter how good the story is or how beautiful the imagery is. You will be pulled out of the experience. YouTube actually tested this, and they found that more people leave their videos if the audio is bad than if the video is bad. High quality sound also makes it easier to consume a podcast in most environments that have competitive noise. Say if I live in a major city and I listen to shows while I'm running on the streets. If you have a guest that used their MacBook mic and you're recording with a Blue Yeti mic set to omnidirectional and you haven't at least mixed or mastered the file, you're competing for my attention with constant big city noise, cars, buses, people, planes, and you're going to lose. If I can't hear you over low-level traffic noise, I won't be listening anymore. The second reason why podcast sound quality matters is professionalism and authority. Why would you want your name attached to a half-assed product? First impression is most important. With today's reasonably priced gear and experienced professionals like me around, poor sound can only be attributed to lack of knowledge or lack of help at this point. Having good audio for your podcast establishes for your listener that you care enough about your area of expertise to provide a quality product. Not only that, good sound gives the perception that you know what you're talking about. The harder it is for someone to listen to your podcast, the less likely they are to believe what you're saying, and as I've already said, the less likely they are to understand it. Bottom line, guests and hosts are perceived to be more knowledgeable, authoritative, and trustworthy if their podcast has high-quality audio. So those are the first 2 reasons why sound quality matters when you're recording a podcast. Next week, we'll cover the second 2 reasons, which are respect for your audience and you're dealing with competition. What are you an expert at? If you have a podcast, chances are your show features your area of expertise. But how much do you really know about podcast production? My clients often thank me for making their shows sound great, but in my opinion, the main benefit I provide for all of my production clients is time. Time to do what they are experts at. Time to grow their businesses. Time to focus and not stress out trying to do the technical production work that isn't their area of expertise. If you have a podcast or want to start one and you're ready to save 3 hours or more each week to focus on the stuff you're an expert at, I'd love to do all of your editing, mixing, mastering, and show distribution for you so that you can focus on growing your community and business. You can find out more at emeraldcitypro.com/services. Today's show was brought to you by ConvertKit, the only email marketing system you'll ever need. After 5 years with the email marketing provider that everyone starts out with, you know who I'm talking about, I was desperately searching for one that was simple, easy to manage, and affordable. ConvertKit easily stood out above the rest, and I've been ridiculously happy with them ever since I made the switch. Emailing my community and creating automation series for special resources has never been so simple. Whether you're ready to start your first email marketing setup or you're searching for a new provider, I highly recommend ConvertKit. Go check them out and other resources that I recommend at dannyosmond.com/resources. That's dannyosmond.com/resources.